Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of On Point. And for this episode, we're going to talk about best practices on how to work from home or do remote work, because JP is at home today.
I'm at home today, Dux. It seems like a really timely topic for our meeting.
All right, I know a lot of us do work from home, so it may not be new to some people, but I know in some offices, this is brand new, especially in this time, challenging time that a lot of people are asked to work from home. So what we want to do is quickly walk through some best practices, and we'll put out the links on how to do these things and how do you maximize not only the technology we have, but just some tips and tricks on how to best work from home. So let me get started. Number one best practice is please take advantage of OneDrive and OneDrive Sync. If you haven't, you can actually install OneDrive client on your computer and actually remap your folders, like my documents folder, and make it go to OneDrive right away, and it syncs in the background automatically. So even if you lose your computer or need to access your files from your phone, you could do it with OneDrive. So please use OneDrive to sync all your stuff. Number two, what's number two, JP?
Well, I think along with using OneDrive, having your mobile apps downloaded to your phone. So if you don't have the specifically the Teams mobile app downloaded, this is something that you definitely want to do. And I know a lot of people that just dial in when they're on the road, but really, from my experience, both the quality of the meeting, the quality of the audio, as well as the ability to see what's being presented, is so much better. So download that mobile client, join the meetings, not by dial-in unless you absolutely have to, but try joining them as a true Teams client member, even if you're on mobile.
Awesome. Number three, speaking of Teams, as much as you can, take advantage of Teams when you collaborate and work with your colleagues. I know it's kind of tough to shift away from email. I'm not saying email's going away, but if you're in a situation where you need to talk to 2 or 3 more people, when I say talk, there's back and forth or work on document, and maybe even just getting ideas and feedback. Minimize email. And if you're thinking, well, it's so easy to use on my phone and send an email, if you have the Teams client on your phone, you can do the same. Start a group chat or start a conversation thread in the team. So take advantage of that. It just makes it easier, especially when you're remote. Number 4?
Yep. Number 4, video. Turn on your video. This is something that, I bet more people would use video if their big face wasn't staring at them all the time. Not that you all have a big face, that happens to be a problem of mine, but get over some of that bashfulness, because it's true that when you can see the other person, facial expressions really mean a lot. So I would suggest that you keep your video on for all internal meetings. And my recommendation to managers is that for remote meetings and so forth, you actually have it be the standard that meeting happen over video, because it helps keep people engaged. I know for myself, Dux, I work remote a lot because I'm on the road, and it does keep you honest. When your video is on, you focus more. You're showing the other person respect, and it's pretty clear. Oftentimes, if people don't have their video on, they're very slow to respond. We've all used the "oh, I was talking to the mute button" excuse. But a lot of times that's just people, wandering and doing other things. So have the video on, better communication, keep yourself focused, keep yourself honest.
And that's what I get benefit from is, I have to admit, I tend to wander off when there's no video or when I don't see myself. I start checking emails, I start browsing aimlessly on the web. So I turn the video on is to show respect, like you said, right? Yep. This time is to maximize everybody's time together, and being on video is okay, right? I mean, we've seen each other in the office, so nothing wrong turning on the video. And besides, in your personal life, it's so easy for us to do FaceTime video calls or WhatsApp video calls. What's the difference with Teams, right?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. What else you got, Dux? Anything? I have a few more things to help.
Yeah, for sure. Number 5 is when you're working remote, make sure you set up all your video, your sound. So when you jump on a call, as much as you can, you prevent trying to figure out, oh, I can't hear you, or it's sometimes it's challenging from a technology perspective, but you set it up right, make sure all the settings are right for the mic and the speaker. And when you jump on Teams, you can pick what devices you have. So get that ready before the meeting or before a call. That will make the experience much more fluid for everybody. All right.
Yeah, to that point also, I think and maybe Dex, what we can do next is we can get into the Teams client itself
Sure.
and talk about some of the things in the application that help out. Maybe what I'll do, Dex, is just share a screen with you.
Okay.
And so we'll get that on the recording as well. So Dex, let me know when you can see my screen.
I see it. I see myself. It's like a mirror in a mirror in a mirror.
There. So one thing I did want to point out, Microsoft pops this recording banner up every time you turn on recording. And it really is, it's best practice if you are going to record the meeting after the recording starts, do announce to everyone that you're going to be recording and that, you know, everything that's being said on that meeting is going to be used for whatever purpose you're making that recording for. Good news there. And the good thing about that is you get everybody's understanding that the meeting is being recorded as part of the recording. So it's a way to cover yourself as well. So people say they didn't know they were being recorded. And obviously be responsible when you are recording meetings. So a couple things, as Dux was saying, that I think come in handy. We talked about the OneDrive. We talked about things like that. Another thing, you know, that I think is important, and I'm going to come up to here to the meeting details. This screen itself obviously is going to be how you can help bring people in, send, you know, join information to people if they didn't happen to be on the invite and you want to bring them in. But there's other really cool stuff here that Teams gives you, and we're obviously in a pre-release version of Teams. I'm probably a little bit ahead of what some of you guys see. So if you don't see this stuff in your client, that's okay. Don't worry too much about it. And the other things that are kind of cool here are things like the ability to show meeting notes as well as your other settings. Now, this is something that I think you want to be careful, right? Because this takes care of or makes use of a functionality that the Teams team added in here a while ago, kind of uses a wiki type concept. This is okay for creating some notes. They'll be attached to the meeting and the meeting chat. It's very useful if this is an ongoing meeting, but if you're meeting in a channel or you're meeting in a team that has regular meetings, understand if that team has decided to use OneNote as opposed to this, because these notes won't go into OneNote. So it's good for scratch, keep things going, and then you know, if your team is a OneNote team, go ahead and make sure you copy these in later, because it just ends up being really useful. Dux, one other thing that I'll point out to everybody, and this is just a best practice. Sometimes we're hesitant to put blur on because we're in a mixed environment. There's other people maybe in the environment. Maybe you're in the office. Maybe you're home, and you know, that cat keeps running around behind you. So this blur, and right now, what most of you probably see there is a blur capability, which just gives this kind of blurred background. And Dux, I can see you did it too. But what's coming is the ability to actually put yourself. I kind of really enjoy being on the beach, Dux, and so that's kind of where I want to be.
And you can put your custom too, right? Your custom.
Oh yeah. I mean, hey, listen, you know, who wouldn't be a meeting without some time on the Starship Enterprise? So this is all just fun stuff that can add some character to your meetings and so forth and so on. So just be aware of those things. One other thing, Dux, that I thought was really useful here is under the share button. So I'm sharing my screen right now, but if I stop that screen share and I go to the same location, there is a whiteboard option. So now, Dux, hopefully you're seeing the whiteboard.
Yes, it's coming up.
And this is great because what this gives me the ability to do is start documenting things. And Dux, if you're on your side, you can go ahead and start annotating this whiteboard as well. And we'll all see this whiteboard in real time. So this ends up being really cool. It's a slightly reduced version of the Whiteboard One application that you might see that you can use just as a client application on Windows. But Dex, you see any capability there for writing or anything like that? It even works with.
Yeah, cool. So right now,
There you
Yeah,
go.
I'm writing some stuff. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is just another way to sort of collaborate. Dux, you brought up earlier, which I think most of the team understands how to use the collaboration within Teams for a document. But I do want to go ahead and I'm going to flip back to sharing my screen and show one more thing that I think comes in really handy when you're doing this kind of collaboration. And that is, I'm going to go ahead, Dux, and paste a document into our chat. So the meeting also has a chat. And so this is good for nonverbals, right? If you want to have conversations in nonverbals and so forth. Notice we'll always be able to get back to those notes that I had started. And Dux, I'm just going to go ahead and upload a document into this chat. And I'll come up here to my desktop where I have a very special SAL that I've been working on and I want to get your input on. And Dux, let's pop this document open and start looking at it. This is another very cool thing.
So go ahead and hit send, because right now I don't think you shared it yet.
I didn't share it with you yet. Yeah, go ahead. There it is.
There you go. Got it.
And we've got the document open here.
Yep.
And Dux, when you get in there, I'll start to see you, and we can start to talk about various sections and things like that. And one of the things that we may want to do is understand that we can have a conversation about this document while we're looking at it. This section on contractor and client issues is in need of revision.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So we can kind of have some comments about this this document. And then when we close this, what's cool is that because we weren't using document comments, we were using conversations. Those conversations are just part of the regular meeting chat. So this is another way to just really use what's already in Teams to kind of enhance some of this collaboration and try to bring the connection as close as possible amongst the people that are meeting.
Awesome. I got
so those
one
are
last
best practices. What do you got, Dux?
I got one last tip. So this is all good, right? We talked a lot about how to effectively work, use OneDrive, use Teams. One key area that I cannot stress enough, and I know a lot of people are already doing this, is when you're remote, when you're away, the best way to stay on top of what's going on in the organization is check Yammer. We've got a lot of goodness on Yammer. It's not only you learn about what the different offices are doing, but we get a lot of good information about our products or latest news. So we see a lot of people asking about the latest Compete messaging, for example, or we see people posting about the latest Microsoft updates. And it's yet another way to engage with colleagues around the world, and especially when it's very business critical. So I encourage you to check out Yammer and join key groups that relates to what you do or you're interested in.
Yeah, Dux, I had something to show that's really cool. Right now, it's only in the web client of email, but if I go here and just find a message that's been posted to Yammer, what you'll find is with the new version of Yammer that we're using, when I find a message, I get updated about a message in my inbox, I actually get a full fidelity Yammer view right here in what would have otherwise been just the update about, hey, you have a message and go look at it. Right from here now, I can like or comment on this. I can mention people.
So you don't even have to leave email.
You never have to leave your email.
But this is, just to be clear, this is only applicable if you access your email from the browser.
That's the way it is today. Yeah,
right.
That's the way it is today. It'll come to the desktop client. Microsoft made an announcement that Q2 it'll come to the desktop client. But yeah, this is really great. There's a lot of other reasons why you may want to start using the web client for for your email, but we could make that a whole separate topic
Mm-hmm.
for another day.
Awesome. Well, thank you, JP. I hope this was beneficial to everyone who was watching this. And if you have any other tips that you'd like to share on best practices doing work from home or remote work, pop it down in this thread. But other than that, stay safe, stay healthy, and hit us up if you have any questions. Till the
Wash
next
your
time.
hands.
Bye.